Just give us immigration reform and don't treat us like dirt. It's not that hard. We're not asking for much. If anything, this is going to help the economy. And we're not asking for you to kiss the ground that we walk on. Just treat us with a little bit of decency. Just a little bit.
Damn, this sister said, I just got in a bad argument yesterday with one of my Mexican friends. She asked, why wasn't we being deported back to Africa? Because Black Americans are the only demographic of people in the United States who are non-deportable. We're the only ones that are not migrants. Let that sink in. And I'm not directing that towards you, sister. You already know what's going on. But a lot of those folks are confused. I mean, if we're really Africans and we really come from Africa.
Hard, I promise you.
Bro, you came here illegally, so you're getting sent back. Like, I'm not really understanding where I'm supposed to feel bad. Like, it's the law. Like, what? Am I missing something? Like, we also can't do that. We can't go to other countries illegally and just pop up and start working and all of that without things in order, without abiding by their laws. And to be honest, it's a much worse punishment if we end up doing that. I feel like America is being generous. Y'all are getting caught and then being sent by plane or sent by a bus back home. That's pretty generous if you ask me. Like, if I go to Russia and try to pull that off, I might not come home. They might lock me up for 50 years for trespassing. Like, I'm confused. The media is trying to make us feel bad. And they're like, oh, this person was 15 years old. He was a hard-working boy. He was in high school, blah, blah, blah. And he was an illegal immigrant from Guatemala. Bro, you lost me. You lost me. He's illegal. So I'm sorry. Like, that's just what happens. I can't feel bad no more. Everything you said before that is disregarded. I'm sorry.
Latinos of all backgrounds. Do y'all not realize black people are not the only people in this country? You got your Chinese Americans, your Japanese Americans, your Korean Americans, your Indian Americans, your Muslim Americans, your white Americans, and your own people. So why in Davy Jones' locker are y'all so pressed and mad at us because we not out protesting? Folks, we did the most effective protesting last November, and the data proves it. We protested when it mattered the most. We were not out here with whole productions talking about some "we will vote for Donald Trump." Y'all was out here with that foolishness, knowing full well, that y'all had a few abuelas, a few tios, tias, mijo, and mijas in your house undocumented. But y'all got y'all behinds on stage talking about some "we will vote for Donald Trump." And you think we supposed to be out here protesting, picket fence in hand, clowning like some monkeys in a zoo? No, sirree bop. We did what we were supposed to do. And y'all put y'all's own community in the position that it's in now. And y'all need to live with it.
Okay, this question is for anybody who is Mexican American, Chicano, Hispanic, Latino, whatever, however you identify, it's all the same to me. Doesn't matter. So if you're within that community or if you're just watching, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Okay, I'm about to ask you a question. You let me know your honest, truthful opinion. Okay, my question is very straightforward. Don't make it complicated. Don't go over the top. Answer is yes or no. If you want to explain after yes or no, that's fine. But first answer with yes or no. And my question is this. If all of the migrant workers are deported, would you, your family, or any of your friends sign up to take their jobs? For example, such jobs as becoming farm workers, day laborers.
Every single Republican in the House of Representatives just voted to deport U.S. citizens. They voted to deport U.S. citizens. And when I accidentally said that Kilmar was a U.S. citizen, he's actually a legal resident, y'all cooked me in those comments. Baby, that was a stepping stone. They use Kilmar as an example. Not undocumented. Let's see what we can do to a man who's here legally. They deported him. Now, every single one of Trump's followers is saying, no, he's MS-13. There's zero evidence of that. The Supreme Court said he wasn't even MS-13. The Supreme Court said, bring him back. And Trump said, nah, not gonna do that. And his followers were complacent. Oh, that's okay. We don't care. He's a criminal just because. They use him as an example. So now when they voted to deport U.S. citizens to for-profit prisons, people aren't batting an eye. Because this is what they wanted all along. What are y'all not getting? What are y'all not getting? People keep saying, oh my God, Americans need to wake up and see what's going on. We see what's going on. Unfortunately, 77 million people voted for it. Yeah.
When trying to sound smart goes wrong, Yeah, since you haven't been watching my videos, you know I did talk about the gal being enslaved in America to the Caribbean and here of the Ogeechee River. Then the Brits came. Those people who stayed behind, that were left behind, they also had to deal with being prisoners of war because they also had to fight in the Gullah and Stonewall Wars. I just woke up, excuse me, I had to wipe my face, but it's okay. You know, I have to, you know, y'all fried breads are not smarter than us. That's why y'all still in the camps. That's why y'all still copy us, because y'all have no identities. See, when you have creativity.
You know, some white people have a misguided belief that America is white and other people are guessed, right? Because they tend to see other people getting deported, but them, they believe that they are the members of the United States and they can't be deported because they still cling to a psychological worldview in which America is theirs and everyone else is a guest who can stay, whose stay can also be revoked at any point. And, you know, this comes from the mindset of a white settler, colonialism, where whiteness was positioned as the default American identity. Now, when Trump threatens deportations for immigrants, that's from Latinos, Arabs, you know, and some Asians, these groups fit the stereotype of the outsider. They fit, understand, they fit the stereotype of outsider. Black people, however, disrupt this racial fantasy because they are not outsiders. Their presence predates many white groups who only arrived in the US in the late 1800s and early 1900s. White people who hold supremacist beliefs struggle to understand this contradiction. They see Black Americans as unwanted, yet legally inseparable from the nation. And brothers and sisters, they don't get to understand this because when we try to look at back then as one of the earliest people in America, we get to see are the Black people. Get to look the works of Ivan Satima when he talked about Black people in the United States before Columbus. And this tells you that Black people predate the United States even before white folk. I mean, Black people predates the United States before white people. So the misguided feeling that America is white, it's all lies. Because even the person that claims himself to have landed in the United States before Black people found Black people in these places. And this has led to a lot of debates in regards to this. However, looking at geopolitical things that have been happening in the United States, including ICE raids and the deportation of other people, white folks fail to understand why are Black people not getting deported. Brothers and sisters, I want us to watch this video, and then I'll be back. I'll be giving my thoughts in regards to this. As you know, I'm your number one host, Eugene Tech Stories, and if you're watching me for the first time, consider subscribing to the channel, join my membership, and really get to see what I can offer you. So let's get into it. I'll be back with my thoughts and commentary in regards to this. I'll be back. Thank you.
It takes intelligence, intellect. I don't have to delete the video. 14th Amendment was for us. Yeah, so, Native Americans were enslaving each other, and then the ones in the South took on the practices because they were trading their enemies to the British colonizers. So, where's your ancestors in the Caribbean? So, yeah, how did we get caught? We were battling each other. We were traded. We were integrated into other opposite opposing tribes. So birthright citizenship is for us. It is for the Black Aborigines. It's not for Africans. That's why Africans are getting deported and we're not. Because Africans don't fall under birthright citizenship, native-born Africans. That's what Trump Platinum Plan was for. It was for people, Black Americans that were born here. That's why I think Donald Trump said something one time. He said, I know what American Indians look like. I've seen American Indians. They look like Michael Jordan. When trying to sound smart goes wrong. I have gal ancestors that were enslaved, and I also have people in my family that were never enslaved. Yeah, when you're a prisoner of war and you have a baby here, yeah, 14th Amendment. Because when you're an inmate, you are a slave. When you're a POW, you are a slave, no matter what.
Oh, and one last thing. Can black people stop calling us slaves? We were prisoners of war. They came by boat, not the other way around. They told the story in reverse. We were prisoners of war. We've always been here before anybody. So all that, we've been brought on boat. No, they came on boat. Came and took our land. We've always been here. That's why we're not getting deported. And they voted because they thought we were going to get deported. Y'all voted because y'all were racist. Deal with it.
Man, what's going on TikTok? How y'all doing? Hope y'all having a wonderful day. But check this out. Man, I noticed something with this deportation thing. I just couldn't figure it out. I said it in my video, but I just never thought about it. These people keep saying we're going to get deported, we're going to get deported, we're going to get deported. They projecting because we the only people that didn't immigrate here. We didn't migrate here. We not refugees to come over here. We not in the immigration system. We didn't have to pledge allegiance and denounce another country just to live here. We didn't do none of that. We not anchor babies. Our parents didn't come over here, didn't had us here. None of that. But they have. They have. And they hate that. They jealous of that. They jealous of that. Because number one, they thought they were going to be our replacement. They were working on it. I ain't going to lie. They were working real hard to be our replacement. Then number two, they came over here to colonize us. But when they found out that Trump made it a way where we are emancipated people, we are children of slaves, we can't be deported. They hate that and that bothers them. That jealousy and envy bothers them because they already come over here with jealousy. They already come over here with envy. But now they see we can't go nowhere. Now they want us to be scared with them. They want us to be scared of if we see an unmarked car drive past our house. They want our heart to be beating fast, you know what I mean? When we go to restaurants and we see ICE come take somebody, they want us to be scared with them. And we just out here popping fans, you know what I'm saying? Well, them fans, we just popping fans, having fun, enjoying life, talking, trying to get our money right, trying to see what's going to happen in the future. We ain't even thinking about ICE. We're not even thinking about being deported like they is. They want us to be scared like them. They want us to be worried like them. You get what I'm saying? That, and I'm like, damn, bro, like they really are jealous of us. Not just the Africans and Caribbeans, the Mexicans are jealous of us. Because they mad because they not part of the 14th Amendment. They not. There's a lot of white people not part of the 14th Amendment either. They jealous of that, bro. We can trace our family to the 1700s. Some people can go far back than that. And they don't like it. And they jealous of it. And they hate it. I know it burns them up. Like all the contempt, all the anti-blackness they say about us, the rhetoric, the stereotypes, all that stuff they spew. And that one thing they can't get is the citizenship like we have. We emancipated people and they hate that. Oh, they hate that. That burns them up. That's why they doing these scare tactics on us. That's why they doing all these things, because they want us to be fearful, just like them, of being deported.
I scrolled past a post where this lady was like, there are actually black people getting deported. Like, black people are actually actively getting deported. And she was like dead ass serious. And she's like, so this really truly is our fight. Like this, like we're supposed to be together in this. And I can't help but think, what type of black people are you talking about here? Because I'm thinking that you're not talking about my type of black people, my lineage, which would be like the FBA, descendants of the slave trade type black people. I'm thinking that you're talking about some type of diaspora black people. And I hate to say it like this, but as an FBA, we don't really care that much about them. A lot of, okay, and let me not say that to be mean or disrespectful or rude or anything like that. It's not that we're not cool, right? It's just that we don't look at other people who identify themselves as black people who are not from here as like brothers and sisters. And the reason why is because 99.99% of the time when they're coming over here, they're looking down on us, they're talking down on us, they're thinking that they're better than us, they're telling that they're going back to their countries and to their own folks, and they're saying how we're all black FBA people are lazy, and how we don't want to work, and how we all live off of government assistance, and how they're better than us, and how they're collectively doing better than us. And it's always some type of negative comparison that they have to make towards us. So why would I give a damn about you at all? Like, you don't respect me, so why should I respect you or give a damn what the hell happens to you? I do not care. Not my brothers and my sisters if you're talking shit about me. Like, this is not even to be divisive, because to be honest with you, Black Americans were always like pro Pan-Africanists all like throughout our time, like throughout history. Like, we always been like pro Black, like wanting to help Black immigrants and just wanting, you know, to really build up a Black community and a Black diaspora, and actually feel connected to other parts of the black diaspora, right? But it seems like when people started other blacks started migrating over here, it almost seemed like they almost kind of like felt intimidated or threatened by our presence and wanted to like replace us. And so felt like in order, you know, to do that, like they had to discredit us, disrespect us, and try to associate themselves with, you know, the others. So that's all I'm saying.
All right, what is up, y'all saying, gang? So I would like to answer this question of immigrants. I even saw somebody else make a video about this, and that's why, you know, ICE isn't picking up, you know, Black Americans. I know this may come as a shocker because they're only picking up Black immigrants and other immigrant groups who are over here. This may come as a shocker to a lot of immigrants, but you know, we're already home. Yeah, we're from here. We're not going nowhere no time soon. And it's crazy because Trump literally told y'all niggas this dead in y'all face. What he said, the 14th Amendment protect children of the slaves. One of them amendments, he said protect the children of the slaves. Nigga told y'all dead in y'all face that we're from here. Y'all are not from here. Anybody that's not from here, that's over here illegally, is going back to their country. You know what I also find funny? Y'all talk all that trash about us Black Americans just to get deported back to your country. I also find it funny that y'all love waving y'all flags around, saying y'all so proud of y'all country. If that's the case, then why do y'all have issues getting something back there?
I can't even have a conversation with anybody who's talking about we about to be deported. You know what I'm saying? Black people have been through everything imaginable in this country, and they can't do nothing more to us than they already done. Every year they give us something different. Support LGBTQ. Go vote. Go stop Asian hate. Now it's Black and brown unity. You know what I'm saying? They always telling niggas to do something, but we don't never do nothing for ourselves. Where's our reparations? Where's a hate crime bill? And why celebrities ain't speaking on this? They helping the other side. Damn, like, come on, man. You can't make this shit up when you can't make it make sense. Picture perfect. I paint a perfect picture. Most of these public figures.
Cancellation of removal is still available to those who qualify. You cannot be deported from the US, and I'm going to repeat it again. You cannot be deported from the US if you've been in the US for 10 years, you have kids born in the US, or your spouse born in the US, and you never committed any crime. If you've been in the US for 10 years and no criminal record, and you found yourself in removal proceedings, and you can prove to the court that your removal proceedings is going to cause extreme hardship to US citizen or green card holder. Again, it doesn't matter you came through the border, it doesn't matter how you came to the US, as long as you've been in the US for 10 years, you have kids born in the US, you have a spouse a US citizen, or your kids are a green card holder, or your spouse is a green card holder, you will qualify for cancellation of removal. Again, prove that if they deport you from the US, your US citizen or green card holder family member are going to suffer extreme hardship. So you can apply for cancellation of removal, you get a green card, without leaving the US, even though you came through the border. If you want to talk to me, make sure you request for free video consultation so you can see me face to face. So many fake pages impersonating me. My contact, my website are both in a bio.
It seems like other, deeply melanated black people are really, really fucking upset that black American citizens exist. Like ones that were actually born here that have a lineage here. Like I keep seeing videos of them saying, oh, you're next. And shouts out to Leo. I saw his video where he was responding to, I'm guessing she was a Caribbean, saying your president doesn't like you. Y'all gonna be back picking cotton. He was gonna get y'all out of here next. And it's like, he literally said that we built this country. He literally said that the birthright citizenship was for the descendants of slaves, chattel slavery. Y'all are so butthurt that we cannot be deported. Then they were like, oh, because when it's time for y'all to get out of here, y'all ain't gonna have nowhere to go. Get out of where? Where they gonna send me? Georgia? South Carolina? Y'all do know that a lot of us literally still to this day own land in this country. And the ones of us that don't know that we do, we're taking the proper steps and we're going through the proper channels to reclaim our ancestors' land. Y'all maybe y'all don't know that, but it's so ignorant to keep assuming that we are all immigrants. Y'all are really jealous that we can't be deported anywhere. Y'all are really, really jealous. It's envy at this point, because what else is it? We don't do anything to you people. Nothing. We welcomed y'all. And it seems to be backfiring that we all thought that we were all one just because we share the same hue of complexion. And I know I'm continuously making the same types of videos, but it's like, I keep seeing y'all making these videos talking about y'all, and then y'all always trying to attack slavery. Y'all always trying to attack as if on the Caribbean. Child, I could get into so much that's going on y'all's islands and in y'all's countries to this day in 2025. Y'all are just so fucking envious. Then there was this girl that was like, oh, if everybody has an issue with black Americans, then maybe it's black Americans. If everybody doesn't like you. No, that's not true. Because we literally do not start. We do not do anything to anybody. We've literally welcomed everybody that came to this country. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. Like I saw a girl saying Brooklyn belongs to the Caribbeans now. New York belongs to the Caribbeans. And it's like, we still exist out there. And the reason why y'all were able to successfully migrate and set up shop is because we supported y'all. We thought we were all kinfolk. I've had plenty of Caribbean friends to this day that I love and I've supported. I've supported businesses. I've patronized restaurants, shops, and everything. While y'all just literally, not all of y'all, but some of y'all just have this disdain, this hatred for us for no reason. And I think it's really envy that we cannot be deported. There's this deep-seated envy, like a hatred, because we are American. And a lot of y'all fight and strive so much to come here when we were born here. And yes, we've had our hardships and our struggles, and we still fighting and we still thriving. But we are a very, very successful group of black people in the world globally. Our impact, the things that we've innovated, our inventions, the things that we've created, it's undeniable. Ain't nobody really fucking with us like that. Even the poorest of us that live in the hoods, if we compare our hoods to y'all's hoods, there's no fucking comparison. Y'all always want to compare y'all top 10% to our bottom 10. Let's go apples for apples. Living in a hood here is not even a marker to how much you make these days. It's very expensive to live in urban communities, especially in a tri-state in 2025. So that's not even a socioeconomic marker anymore. But anyways, I'm just tired of, leave us alone. Hang it up. It's relevant to Brooklyn Way.
Be the color.
You know why black Americans can't be deported? Because they're not from Africa. They're not African Americans. We are not African Americans. We're not. We can't be deported. This is our land. I mean, think about it. You do have Haitians that are being deported as we speak. You do have Jamaicans that are being deported as we speak. But they don't identify as black. They identify as Haitians. They identify as Jamaicans. They identify as Africans. Okay? So, yes, people with the same skin tone, yes, the same skin tone are being deported. But that's because they are not here from America legally. You get it now? You get it now? We are Americans. They literally erased our entire identity. They reclassified the indigenous people that were already on this land. That's why we can't be deported. Where are we gonna go to? Where can we go?
She said African Americans community, not Black American community. Two different communities. Is it crack? Like, what is it? You trying to play with me? You trying to play in my face right now? First of all, Black Americans were coined African American. It was popularized in 1988 by Jesse Jackson. We've been renamed and reclassified in this country a few times, sometimes even without our consent. We know exactly who she was talking about when she said African American. She was talking about Black Americans that were here before the inception of this country. If she mentioned can't be deported, who she talking about? If you're an African, you can be deported. I'm not an African. I am a United States of America citizen. So what group of Black people can't be deported? Caribbeans could be deported back to their countries. Black Brits could be deported. Africans could be deported to their countries back over on the continent. Let's not play stupid. Like, don't be dense. Like, y'all are really trying it. This is why we have to stop calling ourselves African American. Because now all of a sudden y'all really trying to destiny swap and co-opt our lived experience. She also said people that have experience with civil rights movements. Who did that? Black Americans. And that's why you're able to migrate over here right now and walk around freely, because of Black Americans. The ones that were born here, the ones who have a long lineage here. Not first gen, not second gen, not even third gen. I'm talking about the ones that were here before this country was established. Stop fucking playing with me. Get out my comments. Y'all getting on my nerves. We gotta spread love is the Brooklyn way. Like, who? The African American community and the Black American community are two different. Shut up.
Hello, brothers and sisters. Welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you are doing great from whatever you watch me from. Now, the first and the most fundamental reason is that Black Americans cannot be deported because they are not immigrants. Let us think for the people who are waiting for Black Americans to get deported, because Black people in the United States are overwhelmingly native-born citizens, many with ancestral ties stretching back centuries, longer than the most white ethnic groups. So, deportation is a tool of immigration law. It applies to non-citizens. White people who express confusion often reveal a deep ignorance of Black history and American law, because for centuries, Black Americans were forced into country through slavery and then were constitutionally recognized as the citizens through the 14th Amendment. And so deportation simply does not apply to people who belong to the country by birthright and historical presence. I hope that really makes sense to some people that think Mr. Donald Trump's just going to be waking up in the morning and saying, you all Black people, you need to be deported or just leave the United States. So it doesn't work that way, right? And it's important that people get to understand that, because there are some historical ties that Black people have towards the United States that white people don't have, right? Also, you need to understand that Trumpism depends on Blackness as a domestic enemy figure. And this is crucial political reason, because understand that removing Black Americans will destroy one of the core emotional engines of Trumpism. Get this right. Using Black people as an internal political target to rally white grievance Trump's entire brand thrives on portraying black communities as the problem, whether through crime rhetoric, attacking black politicians, or invoking racist stereotypes. Deportations removes the enemy from the stage. But Trumpism needs that enemy presence to mobilize fear, to mobilize anger, to mobilize racial resentment. Now, far right-wing Americans don't understand that Trump isn't trying to remove black Americans. He is trying to keep them in a position where they can be constantly used as a political fuel. So if you come and add on top of that, you get to understand that indeed black Americans are the big players in this cause. They're the ones who ensure that the United States run, right? Also, another thing that I wanted us to note is that economically, deporting black Americans would collapse all sector. Yes, and I say the whole sector. Why am I saying so? Because remember, black Americans hold one of the biggest or the largest, people with buying power. When you try to look at the demographics of the United States today, you get to understand, in as much as we have a difference in income between white and black communities, but look at the consuming or the purchasing power. Remember, the United States culture is being run by consumerism, right? It's being run by consumerism. How much cars you get? What type of brand of cloth do you wear? Which places do you spend your time? Where do you go on your vacation, right? And so you learn that black people, the few rich billionaire black people and middle class black millionaires, they do a lot of purchases. And so waking up in the morning and starting to deport black people will economically hurt the United States. You need to understand that, right? Now, even among racist whites, there is often a subconscious awareness that the country's economy depends heavily on black labor. You need to understand that it is black labor, it is black buyers, it is black sellers. Black sellers, these are people who sell their labor, these are people who sell their services, right? These are people who sell the products, or these are people who give services that white community, they are not ready to give, right? Now, in healthcare, logistics, service sectors, education, military, entertainment, and more. Let's talk about entertainment. Let's talk about sports. You understand the place that the United States hold in sports and entertainment today. 85% of the faces that we see in entertainment, that we see in sports, are all black Americans. And this should sound an alarm to you, the person who's thinking that Mr. Donald Trump is so dumb to wake up in the morning and just deport black Americans. He can't do that, right? So the United States really relies on black workers in the way they refuse to acknowledge. Removing millions of citizens will trigger an economic catastrophe, right? Far right-wing whites don't consider this because racism blinds them to black economic contribution. But political leaders, including Trump, they know. They understand that black removal is impossible without destroying the labor system that keeps society functioning, right? So, also another point that I would like to bring in front of you is the fear of global backlash and domestic unrest, right? We need to talk about this. Now, deporting black Americans will be viewed worldwide as an act of ethnic cleansing. The US will lose global legitimacy overnight. It will face sanctions and potentially provoke massive internal conflict. Trump and the institutional behind him know that crossing that line will destabilize the nation. White supremacist online fantasies about a racial reset. But the reality is that America cannot survive politically or socially if it attempts to remove the population it enslaved, oppressed at the same time, and build the nation upon. The shock expressed by some white Americans reveals how disconnected they are from geopolitical and historical realities. Right. So, get the deep psychological reasoning. This is a confusion that black people are actually Americans. You know, the core reason white Americans are surprised Trump doesn't deport black citizens is because they still cannot psychologically reconcile that black people are full Americans. White racial consciousness has historically defined American as white. This is why they understand deportation for Latinos, Muslims, Asians. For over Asian populations, we struggle to position black people who have been here over 400 years within that framework. So their confusion is a symptom of a deeper pathology. And this is the refusal to accept black belonging, black citizenship, and black ownership of American story. Trump didn't deport black Americans because America cannot exist without them. And because even white supremacy knows the difference between fantasy and an irreversible historical reality. So brothers and sisters, please let me know what you think about this video. Let me know what you feel and think about, you know, this historical worldview that people are having towards black people getting deported and black people not getting deported, and how generally just people feel about this scenario, how people feel about this situation. That's how it has, I mean, that's how it has always been, and this is how it is. So black people cannot be deported. Trump cannot just wake up in the morning and just deport black people. So brothers and sisters, please let me know what's your take in regards to this. How do you feel in regards to this? As you know, I'm your host and presenter, Agentic Stories, and thank you for always tuning in. Let me see you on my next video. But until then, peace, love, and harmony. Salute.